For stars, one of the biggest worries is hitting the height of stardom and then fading away. While this might mean the end of some celebs' careers, others are lucky enough to get the chance to stage a major comeback. And sometimes those comebacks are even better than their original runs. So what's the secret behind comebacks that work versus those that don't? And why do we love a good comeback story so much?
This is my comeback.
Getting one lucky break in acting is already beating some pretty incredible odds. Thousands upon thousands of actors are vying for their moment in the spotlight every single day in Hollywood alone, and only a small percentage of those will get a good supporting role, much less a chance at true stardom. But someone has to be that one in a million, and so every year we do get a new crop of talent making their way to our screens and working to make sure they get more than just 15 minutes.
I mean, do you think Meryl Streep and Kaylee Cuoco became stars just because they're the best?
Yes.
No. It's because they wanted it the most.
But very few are able to keep that momentum going forever. Sometimes their star begins to fade even as they desperately try to stay in the spotlight.
Audition. Though I'm sure you mean no offense. In the actual world of entertainment, I'm what's known as offer only.
But other times, it's a deliberate personal choice to take a step back and figure out what they really want out of their careers. 2000's heartthrob Josh Hartnett became overwhelmed with the reality of fame as his star began to rise and the industry machine began to build up a persona around him that he didn't feel connected to the point that he turned down being Batman in Christopher Nolan's series to take some time to himself and think about what he truly wanted his career to be. There are also a whole host of reasons actors who do want to keep acting can struggle to keep booking jobs even after they've seemingly had their big break. Typecasting can be a big factor. When you get famous off of one iconic role, sometimes people have a hard time seeing you as anything else. Jennifer Coolidge gained notoriety playing Stifler's mom in American Pie.
I got some scotch. Aged 18 years. Yeah, I like it.
And Paulette in Legally Blonde, but soon found that she became pigeonholed into playing these kinds of quote-unquote bimbo types. Coolidge told Vanity Fair, "I did these jobs that I felt like locked me into a certain perception. I was in this weird bubble for a really long time. There was a period where the scripts arriving at my door were lots of gold digger parts. Her range and ability were overlooked in favor of continuing to cast her in these same types of roles." Ke Huy Quan, known for his roles in movies like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and The Goonies, faced difficulties in booking acting jobs as he got older. Despite his talent and early success as a child star, the industry's aversion to diversity in adult roles led to him having a very hard time attempting to further his career.
I love acting, and I couldn't get a job. There were no roles for me, and I spent the majority of my time in my late teens and early 20s just waiting for the phone to ring.
This problem was so deeply entrenched that he ended up just having to step away from acting altogether for many years. Ageism is another factor that can contribute to an actor being forced out of the spotlight in an industry that prizes youth above nearly anything else, especially for women.
You may change this star anytime you want, for a new and fresh and exciting one.
Despite being in so many iconic movies of the 80s and 90s and clearly carving out a proven track record as a successful leading lady, Winona Ryder has opened up about how as she got older, she began to find it more and more difficult to secure meaningful roles. Her career also took a hit when she was caught shoplifting in 2001, and this combined with her already rocky trajectory led to her choosing to take a multi-year hiatus from the industry. Deep personal issues can also have a huge dampening effect on even the most promising of careers. Robert Downey Jr.'s career was derailed by his battle with addiction and a host of legal issues. His repeated run-ins with the law and stints in rehab began to overshadow his talent, making it difficult for him to book any acting jobs. Drew Barrymore's difficult childhood led her to struggling with addiction and having to enter rehab at a very young age. Her wild child persona became a bit of a selling point, but it also made it difficult for her to keep working steadily.
1 minute you're at movie premieres and clubbing, and the next minute you're in a full-blown institution.
Sometimes more sinister external forces play a role in an actor's downfall. Brendan Frasier, who secured his leading man status in hits like the Mummy trilogy and George of the Jungle, saw a decline in his career as the years went on that the public initially attributed to the natural fading of a star. But in recent years, he has revealed that it was actually due to him being deliberately blacklisted for attempting to speak up about being sexually harassed. He finally felt able to share his real story after the rise of the Me Too movement.
Perhaps maybe someone will feel the inspiration that I felt to come forward and say what I had to.
Reflecting on that time in his career, Frasier told GQ, "The phone does stop ringing in your career, and you start asking yourself why. There's many reasons, but was this one of them? I think it was. Though there are countless reasons why an actor's star may begin to dim, there are thankfully also a number of ways they can make their way back into the spotlight and sometimes end up with an even better career than they had ever imagined.
Getting a second chance at stardom might be hard, but you can have the opportunity to improve your life with delicious food every day. If you want to enjoy tasty meals without all of the hassle of prep and cleanup so that you can get out and enjoy those beautiful sunny days with as little time spent in the kitchen as possible, you need to check out this video sponsor, Factor. Factor can help you meet your wellness goals this summer with its menu of chef-crafted, never-frozen meals that are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. I love that Factor helps me fuel up with delicious meals without taking time away from the things I enjoy. Instead of having to shop, prep, cook, and clean, I just get these great meals delivered straight to my door and can have one ready to go in just 2 minutes. And with 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons from breakfast to dessert, you always have new options to explore. Head to factormeals.com/thetake50 and use code THETAKE50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next box. That's code THETAKE50 at factormeals.com/thetake50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next box while your subscription is active.
How and why actors return to the spotlight often depends on why they left it to begin with.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in again. That's my Al Pacino.
For those who made the conscious choice to take a step back, working their way back to stardom on their own terms can feel much more secure and healthy. Josh Hartnett, who spent most of the 2010s out of Hollywood, made a big splash with his big return to our screens in Black Mirror's Season 6 episode Beyond the Sea, opposite Aaron Paul.
Some sort of minor impact, probably just debris. But there is a crack in the solar coating. Let's get to it.
And has made his way back to the big screen with his recent roles in Nolan's Oppenheimer and M. Night Shyamalan's psychological thriller Trap. In both instances, he's been able to shed that heartthrob persona in favor of characters that are much darker, characters he likely never would have gotten to play if he had stuck to the mold the industry had tried to trap him in as a young star. For actors who didn't choose to leave but were pushed out, staging a comeback can feel like much more of an uphill battle.
I am big. It's the pictures that got small.
For many of these actors, it's really about finding that one right role that really lets them shine. Jennifer Coolidge was able to start a new page of her career with her turn as Tanya in The White Lotus, a character who might at first seem a little similar to those part roles, being blonde and not so bright.
Where are the bags? Right there, right behind you.
Oh.
But we quickly find out that Tanya has many more layers and offers a great chance for Coolidge to showcase her true acting ability while also leaning into her comedic chops.
And I didn't realize I was behind the wheel.
Brendan Frasier wowed audiences with his acting in The Whale, leading to the ultimate actor comeback win, an Oscar. Ke Huy Quan also got to solidify his comeback in gold with his win for his role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Robert Downey Jr., of course, made his totally career-saving turn as Iron Man in 2008 and has never looked back. Winona Ryder reminded everyone of her immense talent with her small role in Black Swan before transitioning to television with her role in the hit show Stranger Things. Drew Barrymore can be said to have had many comebacks over her career, which isn't necessarily surprising considering how young she started out, but her most recent has actually been on the small screen, playing her most important role of all, herself.
There's an elegance, hopefully, to the show. But I will never lose sight of this part of my story.
Justice for Santa Clarita Diet, though. Though it has been awesome to watch these stars find their ways back into the spotlight, their struggles also highlight larger problems within the industry as a whole. While these handfuls of actors have been able to overcome the roadblocks that held them back, the fact that they made it through doesn't change the fact that so many other actors are still having their careers hamstrung by them. Many resurging careers have been helped by Hollywood's desire to lean into nostalgia, but it has also, in some cases, used these wins to paper over the fact that it isn't actually fixing anything. But what is helping to change things is the fact that these actors are no longer afraid of speaking out about the truth of how they were treated, and this can lead to changes for younger actors on their way up. If not in the way Hollywood treats them, in the way they are willing and able to advocate for themselves, because they've taken to hear the stories of those who came before them. Fame is constantly evolving and has particularly changed from what it was even only a decade ago.
We're back on TV.
Well, no, it's not TV. It's
They don't do that anymore, do they?
Sure, some may decry the alleged ease of access to the spotlight available today, but that access also means that more people across the spectrum are able to have their voices and stories heard. And that's not just for the mega famous. Even lesser-known actors are able to keep their careers alive with the help of social media and a dedicated fan base. Regardless of how a comeback is staged, the idea of never giving up on your true dream is something that speaks to us all. And that's why, again and again, we seek out these stories of actors who managed to defy the odds not just once, but twice, or even more than that. Maybe we don't have their same notoriety or funding, but we do all have dreams and goals, and as we age, it can sometimes feel like they're slipping away from us, and we worry that we'll never get the chance to achieve what we had always hoped. But a good comeback story reminds us that as long as we're alive, there's still time and hope.
With perseverance, if you put one foot in front of the other, believe me, if I can do it, you can too.
That's The Take. Click here to watch a video we think you'll love, or here to check out a whole playlist of awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And make sure to subscribe to our Patreon for exclusive new videos.
And make sure to subscribe to our Patreon for exclusive new videos.